Why do 95% find trading impossible and 5% find it obvious? Because the 95% are trying to escape discomfort and the 5% stop at fighting it. That's it. Not better strategies, not better indicators, not more intelligence, just a different relationship with pain. Most traders spend their early years trying to make trading feel easier. Easier emotionally, easier mentally, easier on their ego. And the harder they try to smooth it out, the more impossible it feels. Because trading doesn't reward comfort, it rewards tolerance. Tolerance for waiting, tolerance for uncertainty, tolerance for days where nothing happens and you still have to sit there. The 95% interpreted that as a failure. The 5% recognize it as the job. And this is where the split really begins. Because before trading becomes about money, it becomes about time. Time is spent staring at a screen. Time is spent waiting for something that may not come. Time is spent doing nothing while your mind tells you should be doing something. And most people are not trained for that. They are trained to act, to respond, to fix. So when the market goes quiet, they don't feel patient. They feel useless. They feel behind. They feel like they are wasting their day. That feeling is unbearable for most people. So they do what feels natural. They interfere. They lower their standards. They justify marginal setups. They convince themselves this is close enough. Not because it's right, but because the discomfort of waiting feels worse the risk of being wrong. This is the before phase, and it's brutal because you are not failing loudly, you are failing quietly. You are showing up every day. You are watching the charts. You are trying to be disciplined, and yet nothing feels solid. Some days you follow your rules and you lose. Other days you break them and win. And that messes up with your head. Because now the market isn't just unpredictable, it feels personal. You stop trusting your plan. Then you stop trusting yourself. Every decision feels heavy. You hesitate, then rush. You hold, then panic. You take profits too early because you are scared to give it back. You hold losers too long because you are scared to be wrong. And slowly, trading stops being about price. It becomes about managing your internal state, your anxiety, your impatience, your need for reassurance. This is where most traders start saying things like, trading is impossible. But what they really mean is, I can't stand what this is pulling out of me. Because trading exposes something most people never had to face this directly. It shows you how badly you need certainty, how uncomfortable you are with not knowing, with not controlling the outcome, with doing everything right and still losing. In most areas of life, effort is rewarded. You study harder, you get better grades, you work longer, you get paid more, you practice more, you improve. Trading breaks that rule. In trading, effort often makes things worse. The more you watch, the more you want to interfere. The more you analyze, the more confused you become. The more you try to be perfect, the more you hesitate. So the harder you push, the more impossible it feels. That's why 95% never leave this phase. Not because they lack discipline, not because they lack intelligence, but because they keep trying to make trading feel good. They want it to feel productive. They want it to feel rewarding. They want it to feel like progress every day. And trading refuses to give that. At some point, a small group of traders experience a shift. Not a breakthrough trade, not a sudden win streak, a psychological break. They realize something uncomfortable, that trading is not going to meet them halfway, that the market doesn't care how patient they feel, how focused they are, how much effort they are putting in. So they stop negotiating with it. They stop asking, how do I make this easier? And start asking, how do I stop making this harder? They simplify, not because simple is easy, but because complexity was hiding their behavior. They cut down the noise. Now there's nothing to hide. Every mistake is visible. Every impulse is obvious. At first, this is uncomfortable because now there's no one to blame, no extra indicators to lean on. Now, no new strategy to escape into, just you and your decisions. But slowly, something changes. The waiting feels different. Not exciting, not calm at first, just quieter. You stop fighting the silence. You stop treating inactivity like failure. You accept that most days in trading are supposed to feel uneventful. That nothing happening is not a sign you are doing it wrong. It's a sign you are doing it right. This is the after phase. From the outside, it looks boring. There's no constant action, no emotional swings, no urgency. They wait, and they don't argue with the waiting. They miss trades, and they don't chase them. They take losses, and they don't spiral. Not because they don't care, but because they decide in advance what the trade was worth. They accept the outcome before entering. So when the result shows up, it doesn't shock them. Trading stops feeling personal. It's no longer a reflection of their intelligence or their worth or their potential. It's just a process they execute. And this is why the 5% say trading feels obvious. Not obvious because it's easy. Obvious because the internal fight is gone. They are no longer trying to escape discomfort. They let boredom exist. They let uncertainty sit there. They let days pass without forcing meaning into them. They stopped trying to feel productive. They stopped needing every day to count. And in that space, clarity shows up. The market doesn't change. They do. So when you hear someone say trading is impossible, what they really saying is, I can't tolerate the version of myself this requires. And that's honest. Because trading doesn't test your strategy first. It tests your ability to sit still, to wait without reassurance, to lose without self-judgment, to do nothing on purpose. If this feels uncomfortable to hear, if it feels like it's describing you, that's not a bad sign. It usually means you are still in the before phase, the phase where trading hurts the most, the phase where almost everyone quits, but also the phase where separation happens. Because the ones who make it through aren't stronger or smarter or more talented. They just stop trying to escape the discomfort and stayed long enough for trading to stop feeling impossible and start feeling obvious.